Meneer die kanselier, dit is nou my eer om Marlene le Roux aan u voor te stel met die versoek dat u aan haar die graad dokter in die opvoedkunde, honoris causa, toeken. Die besluit deur die Raad en die Senaat om hierdie graad aan haar toe te ken, is op grond van die volgende oorwegings geneem. Marlene le Roux, die eerste vrou om as hoofuitvoerende beampte van die Kunste Kaap Theater in Kaapstad aangestel te word, is 'n bekende kampvegter vir gemeenskappe sonder toegang tot regte en geleenthede. She started her career as a music teacher on the Cape Flats before joining the Arts Cape Theatre in 2001 as Director of Audience Development and Education. She went on to change the face of Artscape's audiences, artists and programming, and has been steadfast in empowering and supporting disadvantaged groups to find fulfilling careers in the arts. Marlene introduced outreach projects that range from theatre appreciation workshops to taking complete productions, along with workshops and educational theatre to rural areas and communities where arts and cultural opportunities are limited. These include the Women's Festival, the Youth Jazz Festival, the Youth Classical Music Festival, and the High School Drama Festival. Her outreach programs take theatre to communities such as Ceres, Grabouw, and Wellington, and involves the best opera singers, dancers, and musicians in a 90-minute production. Sy het ook bygedra tot die vestiging van die Wellingtonse Jeugorkes in 2012, 'n gesamentlike poging deur die Kunste Kaap en die Breitenberg Sentrum om aan die jeug toegang tot 'n platform vir optrede te gee. Die orkes tree by plaaslike feeste op en het al internasionaal in die Verenigde Koninkryk opgetree. Marlene werk ook saam met die Stichting vir Bemagtiging deur Afrikaans, wat leesprogramme aanbied vir ma's, geletterdheidsprogramme vir plaaswerkers en mentorskappe om jong mense uit arm agtergronde toe te rus vir universiteitsstudie. Sy is ook 'n medestigter van the Women's Achievement Network for Disability, die vroue prestasie netwerk vir gestremdheid. Marlene word plaaslik en internasionaal erken vir haar gebruik van die kunste om sosiale kohesie te bou en vir haar reuse bydraes tot die bevordering van kunstenaars met gestremdhede. Marlene le Roux is the recipient of, amongst others, a French Knighthood Merit Award, the Mkodaba Award from the National Department of Arts and Culture for making theatre accessible to all, and the Commonwealth Point of Light Award. Mr. Chancellor, I hereby request that you confer the degree Doctor of Education, honoris causa, on Marlene le Roux for a commitment to the development of the performing arts, for a dedication to ensure access to the performing arts for young people from marginalised communities, for using the arts to educate, to empower, to create community, and as a tool of expression for the oppressed, the vulnerable, the wronged, and the marginalised.
Third degree of Doctor of Education on Marlene le Roux, honoris causa.
Thank you so much, and I will be 3 minutes. So if the registrar can just tell me. I first want to start. My heart is very full tonight. But I first want to say that it's also the 100th year of the Afrikaans poet P.A. Philander. And P.A. Philander, he wrote about how the person of color has built our country, and we were always invisible. And I want to start, and I quote, "Jy gespikkel teen die hellings en tussen die bome, of in die skugtere groepies op brak kolle, saamgehurk staan daar, ook die huisies van duisende plaaswerkers. Tussen die hulle by wie jy later sal koffie drink, of op die koelstoep onder die eike sit nie, tussen die hulle wat daar sal wees, om jy op breinhand te reik en jou welkom te heet nie." A special word of appreciation, I want to say, particular to the Chancellor, Judge Edwin Cameron. Thank you for the work that you in particular have done for the LGBTQ plus community. It's about humanity. Thank you for what you stand for making the visible more visible and the invisible visible. To Professor Wim de Villiers and to Professor Nico Koopman, it is not an easy task to build a nation that comes from our background, a nation that is so divided because of apartheid, and a university that needs to look at leadership with ethical, but leadership to understand their communities. So thank you, and I'm honored that I could stand here today. Know that we are building together and we're walking the cobbles, which is not straight sometimes, towards a new South Africa. Our journey have just begun. So be aware that we are there as alumni to uphold you with these steps. It is a special honor for me indeed. I accept this on behalf of many disadvantaged women, persons with disability, and also people who have no voice in life. I started my life what can be seen as a cycle. We are born into poverty and would ultimately die in poverty. Gelukkig het ek groot geword in Wellington, 'n liefdesvolle familie en gemeenskap. Nooit in my wildste drome het ek as 'n dogter van Christine Titi, wat oorlede was, en was so opgewonde die dag toe Professor Wim de Villiers my geskakel het op 24 September verlede jaar, om vir my te sê, I'm going to get this degree. I put the phone down. I thought it was a joke, because it's a holiday. Who phone you on Heritage Day? I put the phone down. I said to Wim, no, it's not Wim, I put it down. And I then phoned Professor Koopman. I said, Professor, I just got this strange call, man, just confirm, maybe it's one of my comrades that wants to come for a drink. He said, it's true. And then, subsequently, my mother passed on with COVID, Titi, on the 25th of December in my arms. And tonight, I'm dedicating this to my mother and to my late son, Adam. My ouma en my oupa Frank Abrams en Christina Abrams, nooit het ek gedink dat ek hier sal staan vanaand nie. Hulle het regtig waar die vernedering van apartheid het hulle gevoel. Hoe bevoorreg is ek nie dat ek my opvoeding in my moedertaal in Afrikaans kon ontvang het nie. Hoe groot is my dankbaarheid? Want dit is belangrik dat onderrig in grondflase wel in jou moedertaal ontvang moet word. So I am also an activist for indigenous languages, that you need to get your formal and formal, your first education, and that is in your mother tongue. In order for you to graduate at university, you first start at your intermediate and that particular grondslagfase. That's most important. The most important time in our lives is now. Yes, especially now in the midst of a pandemic. Today we still live in a marginalized world, and the challenges of poverty in our countries is just growing greater. The question begs, where do we stand now, Chancellor? Where do we stand now? Hoop en woorde soos Ubuntu kan net op hol woorde bly as ons beleid nie spreek tot 'n dogtertjie van Hoston of Wellington Kayamandi of Saron nie. As dit nie 'n gestremde dogtertjie se wens kan bewaar het nie, is sulke woorde nie die moeite werd nie. Ubuntu can't just be a transformational word that is for PhD studies. It should be action, it should be practice. Die kunste oorbrug politieke grense, bring ons as mense by mekaar en bind ons gemeenskappe aan mekaar. Dit spreek die pluraliteit van die verlede, sowel as die uitdagings van die hede aan. Taal en kultuur ken nie kleur nie. Hoop gaan gepaard met daadwerklike aksie, waar ons doelbewuste besluite neem om nader aan mekaar te beweeg en die egos agter te laat. Economic wealth must become the economic health of our society. It is therefore important for the university to remain a university of relevance with ethical leadership and implementers of policy who hold the power to change the life of farm workers' child and the child with a disability on an economic level. Such change is indeed possible, as is evident in the example of Paul Sikotwa, who is one of the only black wine farmers in the Franschhoek region. Paul bought the farm Klein Goederes. He is here tonight. And Paul, tonight, I'm also dedicating this to you. Through years of savings, not with BEE, and perseverance, thereby defeating the perception that, as the son of a farm laborer, this would become his destiny too. Of course, while Paul is regarded as a role model, his continued success and the destiny of his farm would be positively influenced through the availability of active support and not just words of encouragement. So for the university surrounded by farms, and I know you're doing a lot, let us not stop, because it is the right of that child, that farm child, to be part of this university. I want to end. Baie dankie. Thank you for my Artscape family, to my Articafee family, to the hospital, Tygerberg Hospital Children's Trust, to the Chrysalis Academy, to my Titi Mai, who is now my mother, and Uncle Neil, to my brothers Jack, Wilfred, Patrick, Richard, Ray, Edward, and my beloved and gifted daughter Amy Jord, and my late son Adam, who taught me so much about life. Also to my partner Eduardus van der Bort, who made me realize more sal die son weer skyn. Thank you for the role that you all have played in my continuous growing as a person. And I want to end off. South Africa is a diverse landscape in so many ways. Let's embrace each other with sincere care and real development for our young people, and work together at a foundation level to pursue economic empowerment and our outstanding of being us in a humane way. Ek glo almal het 'n plek onder die son in die nuwe Suid-Afrika. Ons moet nog net die gesamentlike hoe verstaan. At the end of life, what really matters is not what we bought, but what we built. Not what we got, but what we shared. Not our competence, but our character. And not our success, but our significance. Live a life that matters. Live a purposeful life and give of yourself. I thank you.